I made this second version of a cinched earwormer headband, and here is how I made it. I did it on a 48 circular knitting machine, and I will show you step by step how to make one yourself. So first we're going to cast on using waste yarn in a high contrasting color compared to whatever your project yarn is. And then you want to do 7 to 8 rows with this waste yarn. And this is just extra yarn you can have from leftover from your projects. Now we're going to do a ravel cord. And this is just going to be 1 row in another different color yarn. And I'm just using some extra waste yarn that I had from an old project. And just 1 row and put that in your machine. Next we can put on our yarn for our project, and I'm having to put this at the tightest tension using this yarn because it says it's a number 4 weighted yarn, but it's pretty thin. It's really more like a 3, I feel like, but it's super soft and very pretty. So I'm going to do 80 rows, and this is great for an average size female head between 21 to 22 head size circumference. If you have a larger head, you can do a more around 90 rows. If it's for more of a child or tween, you can do less rows. Then we are going to cast off using our waste yarn, and since this is the cast off, we're just going to put mini rows, 5 or 6 rows, and let it drop off the machine. So now we want to flatten our tube. And to do this, we are going to slip stitch the live stitches of our project yarn, which is the purple pink yarn, together. And now this is the part that was our cast on. So we're going to count starting at the bottom, 24 stitches on either side, which is where those 2 stitch markers are. We're going to put both of those stitches on our crochet hook and slip stitch them back and forth through one another all the way down the tube until it's closed. And I have a full tutorial on how to do this step by step, more in real time, on this slip stitch waste yarn method if you want to go take a look at that. And we just want to pick up the live stitches of the project yarn only. That's why it's important to use a high contrasting yarn so we can see this. Once we get all the way down to the bottom of the tube, I like to have the project ends of the yarn at the bottom. And then when we get to the last stitch on our crochet hook, then we're going to feed our project yarn through that last stitch, pull it all the way through to secure it. And now we're getting close to our last stitch, making sure nothing else needs to be picked up. And there's 1 more stitch that's hiding in there. So sometimes you have to look. And now we're going to slip stitch it through the end project yarn to secure the last stitch in place. So when we remove the waste yarn, the project will not unravel. So now we're going to pull our ravel cord. And again, you have to pull kind of tight on this because you want it to come all the way out. Just pulling it a little bit will make those stitches disappear, but it's not removing it from the project. So you can see that dark yellow is still held on. It's not removed. You have to pull so it kind of bunches up the project until that yarn's completely removed. And now the waste yarn will be free from your project yarn in 1 easy step. So now we need to do the same thing on the other side of the tube. We're going to slip stitch it down the same way. Now, as this was the cast off and we had it just drop off the machine, those project waste yarn is not secured. So it comes right out really easy. Now we are going to take a needle and we're going to do some large stitches back and forth in the project yarn where the 2 tubes we closed are together. And here's just a close-up of that we're just taking a couple stitches off the top layer of each side, going back and forth. And by doing this, this is going to make it where we can cinched close our ear warmer. So now that it's done, we pull the end tight and we create that really cute cinched up look. And then we take the other end of our project yarn that was on the other side of the tube, do a few little stitches through it so we meet it at the end. Then we can secure both of them down tightly. And we do a knot to secure them. Once we have the knot done, we can weave in the ends through our project and then cut off the excess. And the side that we weaved in, that was the inside, and then we flip it the other way for how you'd wear it right side out. So just to show the difference between the twisted and the cinched, it makes it a little bit wider. And this project can also be adapted to the 40 circular knitting machine, but the 48 needle machine works as well. It just makes it a little bit wider on the brim. I use the Premier Eversoft multi yarn that was called Purple Mist. It is super soft and great, and I just love the pattern it makes. So please like and follow for more. Thank you so much for watching.